During my streams all the time, I get people who come in the chat and tell me, hey, should I come back to WoW? Or, hey, I play Classic a lot. Should I try Retail out? And my answer lately has been yes. Yes, you should come try it. Yeah, you should come back to WoW right now. I think it's great. I think WoW's in a pretty damn good place. Is it the best it's ever been? That's up for debate. I don't know. Yes, but I do think that it's good enough right now and fun enough to surely, sell to people. Like, tell me, hey, it's a great game. Why don't you give it a try? Why you should play The War Within. That's why I figured I'd watch this one today. Reasons why you should get into WoW in 2025. Let's see what Nixium has to say here.
These are 10 reasons to play World of Warcraft, The War Within. Guys, this MMO has been kicking around for 20 years now.
The answer is no.
War Within, the 10th expansion, just dropped as the start of the World Soul Saga. So whether you're a vet who's been playing since vanilla or some newbie wondering what is all the fuss about, this expansion, it's got a lot to offer.
Yeah.
I've been a little burnt out on Classic WoW lately. I've been playing a lot of retail again. And
Actually, I'm seeing this a lot. I'm seeing a lot of Classic Andes get burned out, believe it or not. And I just think it happens, right? The power dynamic shifts all the time now between Classic and Retail and whatever the hell else is out there to play, whatever other version of WoW is. People just kind of rotate through them. And right now, I feel like Retail's probably in the best spot of all of them.
I just gotta say, it's packed with a lot of reasons to jump in, even if you're, jumping in a little bit late. Plus, Undermined, the new patch,
Undermine's
just
great.
Came out, so everything has just got a whole lot wilder in the War Within. Goblins, cars, Gallywix chaos, yes please. So here are my reasons to check out the War Within, from the story to the grind and everything in between. But first, a quick word from our channel sponsor, Zygor.
That fucking yelling transition made me laugh, man. What the hell was that?
If you want to level up fast and completely dominate the War Within as an expansion, Zygor is World of Warcraft's ultimate guide add-on. It's your cheat code to the game. Check them out via the link down below.
Use code Nixium for 20% off.
Description and tell them that Nixium sent you. Number 1, Xal'atath is the villain that we deserve. Remember when villains were not just stabby guy with a grudge? Right? The War Within expansion says, nah, let's give you Xal'atath, okay? The harbinger of the void. She ain't gonna be stabbing you left and right, but she is an ex-knife, to be fair, okay? A full-on eldritch style sort of queen who
look, a good villain is necessary, right? A lot of people will tell you, I don't give a fuck about the lore, I don't give a shit about what's going on, I just care about, my running my Mythic Plus keys or PvP. Good lore makes the game better. It does. One of Shadowlands' greatest gripes was the lore was freaking garbage. And yeah, Torghast sucked and everything else. Overall, the mechanics sucked, but the lore was horrible. Now we got a good villain. It motivates you to get up in the morning and play the game. You look at some pictures of Xal'atath and you're like, yeah, this gives me feelings. I want to play today. So yeah, I agree. Xal'atath's a good reason to play. Great story right now. If you care about WoW story, you should play.
Dalaran into rubble in the first 10 minutes of this expansion. She's got sass, power, and a creepy knack for popping up everywhere like that guildie who won't stop begging for gold. She's also not some one-and-done baddie either. Blizzard has confirmed that she is sticking around for the whole of the saga, okay?
Yeah.
You'll love hating her, and that's reason enough to log in. The way she toys with you in cutscenes like she knows you're just a pawn.
Man, this right here, I mean, if you need a reason to play, you're not telling me there's some sexual tension right here? That's some good lore.
You in cutscenes like she knows you're just a pawn in her big cosmic game.
Trending. Where's
this
the
was
rest
great,
of the
man.
Drenden's been dead for years.
Yeah.
This time.
I'll be honest, like, this is movie quality shit. The reveals and the connivingness and two-step. This was so good. It was so good. Time to sub to my
I've been chasing this woman's shadow all throughout the War Within, and every time she pops up, I'm equal parts mad, wanting to kill her, but also impressed. She is
turned on.
Just a really well-written villain that has certainly captured the imaginations of a lot of people. Xal'atath is awesome.
Right.
Number 2, Kaz Elgar's zones are eye candy.
Yeah.
You got 4 new zones: the Isle of Dorn, the Ringing Deeps, Hollowfall, and Azj-Kahet. And they are prettier than my night.
My least favorite's probably Azj-Kahet. I feel like that zone is, I don't need it. But the good thing is, honestly, of all the zones, that's the ones you spend the least time in, especially now. So, I mean, looking at the other zones, yes, Dornegal and everything else. I mean, it's beautiful. Dornegal is a cool city. Overall, Khaz-el-Gar is beautiful. Look at this freaking zone. Yeah, the zones are fun. And Undermined is freaking great, man. One of the best zones they've ever made.
Elf Girlfriend back on Argenton EU. Hollowfall has got this massive glowing crystal vibe. Ringing Deeps feels like a dwarven fever dream. Osgahet is this Nerubian hellscape that would make Shelob jealous. These are not just reskinned barons. They are packed with detail from Titan machines to spider guts. And you'll spend hours just gawking. And that's before you even start questing. I gotta say, I love Hollowfall and just flying around, and somehow Blizzard pulled off a underground zone with a sun. I don't know how they did that, but it's beautiful. The Isle of Dorn.
Also, Hollowfall, probably one of the best storylines I've seen in a zone in quite a long time, and overall, their NPC armor kits and everything that you can get from this zone, just so good. So good.
Beautiful. The Isle of Dorn, they got these rugged cliffs and mountains that make you feel tiny. Osgahet's webs, they just scream nope as they're flying around. Blizzard's world building is top notch when it comes to the War Within, and it's going to make you want to explore every inch of it if you haven't already. So, needless to say, it's a world that pulls you in and doesn't let go. Number 3, solo play's actually a thing now. My MMORPG veterans, please brace yourselves. The War Within...
Wait a minute. What is this? What did this say? Is that the where 40-year-old virgins unite, World of Warcraft?
Please brace yourselves. The War Within does not care if your friends ditched you for Final Fantasy XIV. Okay? Delves are these bite-sized solo dungeons.
Very soloable
10 to 15 minutes of chaos with loot and a pet NPC to keep you company. Follower dungeons, they let you roll through instances with AI buddies to check out, classes and talents and specs that maybe...
And I will say, I think Blizzard figured out, like, the perfect balance between giving players solo content and then giving players gear through solo content. Because, solo content has existed in the past, but it's never really been something that you could use to gear out. It's like, okay, you can get some starter gear. It's there for that, but beyond that, you're never going to be on the level of somebody who's doing a Mythic Plus or rating run. That's changed. Now, I mean, honestly, even players who do multiplayer content and rating and all that shit will also go do the solo content because there is actually good gear to be had from that shit. So, yeah, Blizzard, I think, has struck a really good balance when it comes to gearing out with solo and making the solo content fun as well.
You've just been a little too anxious to try out on your own. There's no randoms yelling about your DPS and stuff. Blizzard is basically saying all throughout the War Within, play how you want to play. And I'm here for that. It's really a perfect expansion for when you just want to chill without any sort of trade chat or guild drama.
So true.
It's fun to run delves on new characters as well as on your main.
I will say, for the first time in a long time, during this expansion, I have had plenty of moments where you're working or whatever you're doing, your daily grind of life, and you got a couple minutes, I'll log in. I'll turn up that music. I'll sit back and I'll just, I'll play the game. I'll run a delve. I'll do some world content. Just something out there that's, a bit relaxing. Some good solo content, and I'm at the same time, I'm actually getting shit. that's going to help me out for that multiplayer content down the line. So it's in a great spot when it comes to that.
Me and Brand Bronzebeard running around, it's oddly satisfying. Even the follower NPC, all right? Even Brand has a personality. It's kind of annoying, I admit, but
Don't
whatever.
Stand there.
It's WoW, but it's on your terms. So solo play is a thing in the War Within, and if you're a very socially anxious player, this might be your expansion. Number 4, warbands make your alts less of a chore. Do you got a dozen characters that you abandoned halfway to level cap? Okay, well, warbands are your savior.
Right.
Rep, achievements, even some gear and currencies, you can shuffle them between your tunes like a family potluck.
Hell yeah, and it just keeps getting better. It literally just every single patch, every single even week on hotfixes, stuff like that. They're just adding more and more stuff to be warband bound. Currencies changing over, reputations changing over. Yeah, it's all attached to a single account now. It's what players have asked for a long time, and it's happening.
Hey, no more grinding rep with a bunch of stupid bears just to ride a damn turtle on your ult. I got some of my ults decked out with hand-me-downs from my main, and it just feels like Blizzard finally gets it. We're all ultaholics, especially me. I have a very serious problem. So it's time, maybe, to dust off those neglected ults, my friends, right? Because it's a lot of fun. I love leveling ults again without hating myself for doing it or feeling like I'm wasting my time when I could be on my main. I'm sure you guys feel the exact same way. Number 5, the story's actually kind of good. Dragonflight was cute, but
yeah.
Did anybody else feel like it was kind of a side quest?
Yeah.
Anyone else? I mean, that's just
100%. That was it. Felt like a side quest. It did. This guy right here, Ridicron, he's the one good thing that came out of the storyline of Dragonflight. Other than that, it was like, hey, what's going on, guys? How you feeling? I'm a little bit kind of turned on right now. Why you turned on? Oh, I heard about this sexy ass dragon on this dragon. Let's go check her out. Yeah, let's head over there. Everyone holds hands, sing Kumbaya, and then Iridicron sets off on his thing. There wasn't really any hardcore story. We lit those, torches early on. As I said before, what the fuck was that all about? I still have no idea. We played through some storylines where all the dragons were trying to get their shit together. Okay. So we helped the dragons get their shit together. We picked up some scaly friends. We got the Dragthier now. Great. I'm happy for the people on Moonguard who always wanted that. But besides that, yeah, it was just a prelude to this expansion. It was really a systems update. That's what that expansion felt like. And for that, it did a good job.
The War Within, you got heavy hitters like Thrall and Jaina and Anduin. They're all back, and they're not just standing around looking pretty. Khadgar kind of bites a little bit early. He comes back, though, so it's cool. But, Xal'atath makes him into her bitch, right? The plot digs into Azeroth's guts, literally. Xal'atath is scheming, the world's soul's whispering, and it's all stitched together with cinematics that don't suck dick.
That's
if
true.
you've ever cared about Warcraft lore, this is your jam. When Anduin shows back up and he's all depressed and whatnot, he's like refinding his faith in the light. Dude, that's awesome. He's not some kid anymore. He's a little traumatized by the world of Warcraft, and he's got to find himself again. It's cool. The Earthen tie-ins with the Titan lore, every zone.
Anduin's like the old WoW players. That's what he is. He's a little bit traumatized, but he's making a comeback. He's going to be all right. He's finding love for the game again.
The Titan lore, every zone's got all these quests. They feel like they matter.
Stop going ahead of the video.
And I'm eating it up. Number 6, hero talents. New toys, but a mixed bag, I have to say. Every spec gets 2 hero talent trees. Think Dark Ranger Hunters or Apocalypse Death Knights. You unlock them from 71 to 80, and they're, well, a little bit divisive, even to this day. Some are very flashy passives that tweak your rotation. Others feel like bloat, like my Warlock summoning a Pit Lord just to flex. They're not game changers, but they're fun to mess with, and honestly, who doesn't want to roleplay a Warcraft legend for a bit? I've been trying these different hero talents and stuff, and I do very much like some of them. Mountain Thane makes you feel like the god Thor from Norse mythology, but I digress. Trying all the different heroic talent trees and stuff, it's a lot of fun, especially as you're leveling those alts that I was just talking about.
They're fine.
They're a little bit divisive because some players, even myself, I admit, feel that Blizzard could have done a little bit more. This is good, but it's not great, but it's definitely worth checking out. Number 7, skyriding. It's still a blast.
Yeah.
Dragon riding is now skyriding, and it's everywhere. It's not just in Khazalgar. Zoom around on any mount with that dynamic flight mojo from Dragonflight. It's wonderful. I am flying around in the War Within like a caffeinated lunatic, and it never gets old. I love the flight system. I'm glad that Blizzard stole it from Guild Wars 2.
Hell yeah, that's when Blizzard's at their best. Stealing shit from other games, for sure.
Let us lay waste to
Talon, thank you for the sub on YouTube. And that's what Dragonflight really offered the War Within. It built a nice foundation for the War Within and the rest of the world Soul Saga to kind of jump off of. It gave us a good dragon riding shit. That's a really good mounting system. It gave us the new talents, as I mentioned before. It gave us the new crafting system as well. I don't do it, but I know it's good. It's better than it was. So, yeah, all these systems that came from Dragonflight have really led to a great expansion going forward for the War Within and all these others.
Said it. This is the kind of freedom that makes riding a ground mount
Dragon
feel
riding
like
is
a
meh.
war
I use it when I need
crime.
to. That's the good thing, though. You don't got to use dragon riding. You can switch back to the other flight form. What is it? Static riding or classic riding, they call it right now. And do that. You don't have to dragon ride if you don't want to.
Just try it. Crash into a cliff, laugh, repeat. I have to say that I do main a Death Knight, and I got that whole Rider of the Apocalypse thing going. So on the ground mount, summoning, the different riders and stuff. Like, it's great, but dude,
it's cool.
Flying around in skyriding is just awesome. Especially when you're dodging like stalactites or Nerubian webs down in Azj-Kahet. It's awesome. You can, of course, do this as well in all the other areas of the world. So I personally think that dragon riding, if you've never checked it out in World of Warcraft, it's something worth coming back for just to experience it. It's not a new pillar of progression in World of Warcraft by any means. It's just fun, and that is awesome.
Yeah.
Number 8, the Earthen. So you got a new ally.
WoW's taking a lot of stuff from Guild Wars and Final Fantasy. Yeah, I mean, WoW took a lot of stuff from EverQuest when it was being made. That's good. That's what you want to see. That's when the Blizzard dev team's at its best. When not necessarily when they're breaking ground on some kind of new system. No, it's taking a system that exists in an MMO and making a better version of it for World of Warcraft.
Race in this new expansion. I know some of you guys really like leveling up different races in World of Warcraft.
I'm hoping that's what player housing is going to be, by the way. And that's what it's looking like. Player housing. Blizzard didn't create player housing, but it looks like they're making one of the best versions of it ever.
And now we have the Earthen.
Yeah, the Earthen are all right.
Titan-forged stone dwarves. Think Magni Bronzebeard, but buffer and a little less whiny. You unlock them after finishing the War Within campaign, and they are playable for both Horde or Alliance.
Yeah.
They have some really nice racials. And
let's be honest, what are the Earthen? They're dwarves for the Horde. I mean, both sides got them, but we looked at the percentages. They're the least played race in the game right now, which is fine. They're a new race, but the Horde has a lot more of them than the Alliance does, and that's because they're literally just dwarves for the Horde.
I've rolled one just to hear
Great,
that
now the Horde can have
gravelly
dwarves.
voice grunt through the quests. It's a 10 out of 10. Would petrify again. I admit that I've become a recent dwarf convert. I've been learning a lot more about dwarven lore in World of Warcraft. And
Dwarven lore's good.
It's fun. Their animations are beefy. Every swing feels like it could crack a mountain. And the lore ties to Khazalgar make them feel right at home in this expansion, obviously. Maybe some of you guys don't care so much about new races in the game because you are quite literally married to your main. But for some of us, it's a small thing, but it is very stupidly satisfying. Number 9. Delves are casual endgame crack. Now, I already mentioned Delves for solo play, but they are worth double dipping, right? These mini dungeons, they scale up with multiple tiers. They all have bosses, goofy power-ups that you can find, like double jumps or health buffs. And they all have loot that is actually decent. No raids scheduled for this week? No problem. You can just go into a delve to get gear while laughing at Bran Bronzebeard's terrible pathing.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's what you could say about delves. If you want to relate it to anything, you could say, I don't know, Torghast crawled so delves could full-on sprint. I guess you could say Torghast, delves are basically, I mean, Torghast, they're a build-up off of Torghast, but they are far and away better in every single way. They don't remind me of Torghast in any way, but I know for a fact a lot of the systems that delves use are built out from the Torghast system. So yes, as bad as Torghast was and Shadowlands was, we can be thankful for what it gave us because it gave us delves, and delves are absolutely fantastic.
It is low commitment fun that keeps you hooked, and it's great just kind of going from one delve to the next, figuring out what is hidden and lies in store. The variety keeps it fresh, the rewards mean that it don't feel like you're just wasting your time, and with Undermined, having just came out, there are new delves coming that make you want to just ditch raiding entirely. Just you and Bran Bronzebeard tearing up some goblin turf. If you're burned out on mythic queues and PvP and raids and stuff, then delves are your new best friend.
Yes.
Guys, if you've enjoyed the video so far...
And I've said it before, by the way, delves in general are that 15-minute content that we've never really had in WoW that legitimately contributes to your endgame, gearing and everything else. So it's perfect for that, hey, I got 10, 15 minutes. What can I do right now? You can't run a Mythic Plus. You can't go out and do a raid. And the world content, is it really going to give you any real progression gear? No, not really. Delves now. Delves, you can do them. 10, 15 minutes, perfect. Can you get gear that actually matters for you? Yes, you can. So all of that has now been filled up with this perfect little time slot that's never been filled by WoW before, that 10 to 15 minute good progression content.
Or if you're a big fan of the War Within, I would very
Best
much
thing about
appreciate
Delves, no
it if
queue.
you could just hit the like button real fast.
Also true,
But
just
now,
do it.
let us talk about number 10. It's the best WoW's been in years. Look, I'm going to level with you guys. Okay, Shadowlands was a slog. BFA was a mess. Dragonflight was fine. Okay, I liked Dragonflight.
I liked BFA. I'll be honest, I did. Yeah, Azerite armor sucked, broken as shit. But I look back at BFA, and I actually think it was a fun expansion. I do. There was a lot of like war mode, not war mode. What the fuck was that thing called? The war fronts. It wasn't that good. Azerite armor, not that good. But I felt like the expansion hit its stride towards the end, and actually had a good strong finish.
A little forgettable for some people,
right.
though. But the War Within, the beginning of the World Soul Saga, it feels like Blizzard remembered in many ways why we fell for World of Warcraft. The zones and the story, the systems, it's just firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Critics are raving. It's got very high praises on Metacritic. Players like me who've been here since vanilla, we're eating it up. It is not perfect by any means, but it is a good expansion. So I highly recommend you jump in before midnight drops and you are behind in the saga curve.
Yeah.
At least, if nothing else, just for the story.
Definitely. Right now, if you jump in, the good thing is really none of the previous story needs to be known to understand what's going on right now. So you can jump in and be all caught up with the story and ready for the not just the next expansion, the one after that too, because all three of these are attached to each other. It'd be like, I don't know, watching the first Lord of the Rings movie, right? Before the Two Towers comes out, right? So there you go. You can do that, you get it all caught up, and now you're ready to watch the next two movies when they come out. So it's be perfect. It's a good time to come back and get caught up on the lore. You're not behind yet.
The community is buzzing. It's that old World of Warcraft magic for many of us, polished up for 2025. Do not sleep on the War Within, especially with the Undermined patch having just came out. It's a perfect time to hop back in and play World of Warcraft if you haven't played in a long time. So there are your 10 reasons to dive into the War Within, everybody. A mix of shiny new toys, old school Warcraft vibes, enough chaos to keep you entertained. Which one's got you sold? Drop it in the comments. Tell me I'm full of BS if you disagree. I can handle it. If you liked this video, again, smash that like button like Xalatath smashing Dalaran, and I will catch you all in Azeroth. And if you are somebody that you want another video of mine to watch, and maybe you're not a War Within fan, I highly recommend watching the first part of my series called Why I Love Classic World of Warcraft So Much. It is linked on your screen right now, and I hope that I'll see you over there.
Yeah, I haven't watched the Nixium video in a little while. It's actually a good one. Good comparisons here, good stuff, good content. And yes, it's a good time to come back. I definitely agree with that sentiment. And you can get all caught up. So many catch-up mechanics right now. You'll be right up and ready to run the next two expansions as well. So it's a good time. It's a good time. It's a good game right now. And if anyone's thinking about coming back, I would say, yeah, go for it for sure.